Number 3, Chicago Leo is the highest ranked team still alive in Class A. The Lions roared to a 31-point win in their super sectional. Breese Central won theirs by 17. The Cougars making their second straight trip to the Elite Eight.
This is the Peoria Civic Center, but for the next 2 weekends, it is the Capitol building of Illinois high school basketball. Hello and welcome to Carver Arena. I'm Lee Hall. 2 teams already have advanced here today. Peoria Christian and Winnebago, both winners in our first 2 quarterfinals this afternoon. In quarterfinal number 1 tonight, 2 teams who have tasted state tournament play but never taken home the big trophy. It's Breese Central taking on the Leo Lions out of Chicago. For the call of tonight's ball game, here's Kurt Pegler and Roger Lowe.
Thank you very much, Lee, and indeed, welcome to America's original March Madness, the Class A Boys Basketball State Tournament here at Carver Arena. Kurt Pegler alongside Roger Lowe, and I'll tell you, it's going to be an interesting game because we've got 2 teams from opposite sides of the state, one from Chicago and one from outside St. Louis, and from opposite sides of the basketball spectrum, too.
You're absolutely right, Kurt. Chicago Leo is going to want to play a real fast, up-tempo type game, while Breese Central is going to want to try to play a more slow, disciplined style of game.
Let's take a look at how these teams got to the Elite Eight here in Peoria. We'll start with Breese Central, the Cougars, with a record of 26-6. They beat Oakville for the Westland Regional Championship, then beat Madison and Vandalia for the Mater Dei sectional title, and then took out Carrollton for the Edwards Super Sectional Championship. The road to Peoria for Leo included a victory over Chicago Agricultural Science for the regional title, then beat Chicago Hope and North Lawndale College Prep for the Ileana Christian sectional, and then took out Northridge Prep for the Wheaton Super Sectional Championship. Both these teams have very experienced players. Let's start with Breese Central. Adam Beanie is the only player who was here a year ago in the starting 5 for the Cougars.
Adam Beanie is the returning starter from, as you said, the only returning starter. Leads the team in scoring, also leads the team in rebounding. Will have to provide tremendous leadership.
There's just one Class A player playing Division I hoops next year as far as signed scholarships is concerned. We'll see him tonight. It's Frank Clare.
Frank Clare is a player that's going to be playing at Northern Illinois University, a smooth, sleek type player. A lot of people are going to be anxious to see him play.
Yeah, let's take a look at what we believe are the keys to the game. If Breese Central is to win tonight, what do they have to do successfully?
Breese Central is going to have to do 3 things. They're going to have to keep the game in the 50s. They're not going to be able to play an up and down style. They're going to have no Danish. They're going to have to keep away from the relentless pressure that Leo's going to put on them, and we're back. They've got to have the experience from last year and carry them early in the game.
Meanwhile, 3rd-ranked Chicago Leo, very athletic. What are the keys to the game for the Lions?
Senior moment. They start 5 seniors. They should play with discipline, with some experience. AA batteries. They're undefeated against all Class A schools. They played a strong AA schedule and going deep. They're going to go 11 deep in waves, and it's going to be hard for fans to keep up with this team.
Contrasting styles. Should be a fun game. Stay tuned. It's Chicago Leo against Breese Central. The starting lineups and the opening tip are up next here on the IHSA Television Network after these local messages. I'll load all that stuff up in front of me here. Yes. Yes, we are standing by for live basketball.
Testing 1, 2, 3, test.
Thank you. And feel free to pipe in any of those airplane shots.
We'll go James from 7:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. And let's go to softball practice from 3:45 to 6 p.m. Followed by jazz practice from 6:30 to 9 p.m. What are you doing between 3:45 and 9?
Back at Carver Arena, we're getting set for basketball here. Quarterfinal number 3 in the Class A tournament. Breese Central at 26-6 and Chicago Leo at 25-5. And let's take a look at the state map and where these two schools are located. We mentioned that one's from Chicago, that obviously would be Leo, and Breese is just outside St. Louis, so they are from different sides of the state. And when you take a look at the tale of two cities, there's some major contrasts there as well. The enrollment at Breese is about 588. It's an all-boys school. At Chicago Leo, 562. Look at the difference in the population. Breese Central, 3,500. Chicago Leo, a cool 3 million. And the conference affiliations, Breese Central plays in the Cahokia. The Catholic League is where Chicago Leo plays its conference games. Of course, Leo's in Cook County and Breese Central is in Clinton County. We're expecting what we hope to be an interesting game because of those contrasting styles. They've both really brought their fan base here. You're getting a good look at the Breese Central fans. These teams are not necessarily teams that you would necessarily pencil in to get here. Chicago Leo making its first trip, Roger, since 1998. Second consecutive trip for Breese Central, but only these two are the only ones they've ever had in school history. So these are relatively new waters for these teams.
And the road is so difficult to get here for both teams. So getting here from the city of Chicago and down in the southern part of the state is a huge accomplishment. Breese doing it 2 years in a row, like you said, Kurt, is huge.
Yeah, in fact, the head coach, Stan Eagleson, said, there are some coaches in the state that wait a lifetime to get to the state, and he's been here 2 years in a row. He has just one returning player, one returning starter, and Adam Beanie from last year's Elite 18. About 9 of his players at least came up and watched the game last year. We're standing by now for the starting lineups, and let's go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for this quarterfinal game featuring the Breese Central Cougars 26-6 and the Chicago Leo Lions 25-5. Before we meet the teams, we ask you to please stand and observe a moment in silence in tribute to our men and women in the armed forces throughout the world. Thank you. And now to honor America. Please stand, remove your caps, and address the flag with your hand over your heart as Brandon Catt, a senior from Oblong High School, sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now let's meet the teams in this quarterfinal contest. For Breese Central, a 6'3" junior forward, number 10, Brandon Dawson. .59" senior guard, Greg Astroff. A 6'1" junior guard, Tom Barrow. A 6-foot junior forward, 22, David Gepke. 6'1" senior guard, 30, Kurt Hyman. The 6'2" junior guard, 32, Kyle Norenburns. The 6-foot junior forward, 33, Brandon Holtman. 6'1" senior forward, 35, Nathan Steinkamp. 6'5", junior center, 40, Ken Detmer. And a 6'4", junior forward, 50, Jacob Nettemeyer. Now for the Leo Lions. 5'10", senior guard, number 1, Henry Peters. The 6'3", junior forward, 4, Stephen Benjamin. 6'1", senior guard, 11, Terrence Robinson. 5'11", junior, 13, Kevin Brown. 6'7", senior forward, 15, Tracy Robinson. 5'9", sophomore guard, number 20, Jalil Harvey. 6-foot sophomore guard, 23, Kiwan Leach. 6'8", center, sophomore, 30, Donald Lawson. And now, let's meet the starting lineups in this quarterfinal game featuring the Central Cougars and the Leo Lions. For Central, at a forward, a 5'10" sophomore, 24, Ryan Meyer. For Leo, at a forward, a 6'6" senior, number 2, Frank Clare. The other forward for the Cougars, a 6'3" senior, 44, Adam Beanie. The other forward for the Lions, a 6'2" senior, 14, Michael Stipe. At center for Breese Central, a 6'4" junior, 52, Adam Brickler. At center for the Lions, a 6'7" freshman, 50, Deontay Gasque. At a guard for Breese Central, 6-foot senior, 12, Cole Schragi. At a guard for Leo, a 6'2" senior, number 5, Alan Downing. The other guard for the Cougars, a 6-foot junior, 23, Donnie Peterson. The other guard for the Lions, 6'2" senior, 12, Keelan Donald. Head coach of Breese Central in his 22nd year, 18 at Central, a record of 313 and 192 is Stan Eagleson. Assistant coaches, David Thomas, Kurt Peters, and Jeremy Schubert. Head coach for Chicago Leo in his first season, a record of 22 and 5, Noah Cannon. Assistant coaches, William Hawkins, Robert Shabowski, James Hawkins, and Daniel McGuire. No other state in America.
Noah Cannon, the head coach of the Leo Lions, is a 1995 grad of Leo High School. As you see the starting 5 again for Breese Central, Adam Beanie, the second one down, is the only one that started on last year's team that made it down here in Leo. Boy, we're going to see them, Claire, Stipe, Gasque, Downing, Donald, we're going to see them get up and down the floor. They've got several of their athletes that are on the track team, and we're going to see them tonight.
It'll be like the Indianapolis 500, Kurt, that you have to memorize the color of the car. These guys are going to be getting up and down that fast. And if these teams play as disciplined as both these coaches were yesterday in our meetings with them, it's going to be a very disciplined game.
Stan Eagleson, the Breese Central head coach, 373 wins in his 22nd year of coaching. He's coached 18 of those seasons at Breese Central, where he's won 313 games. And as we mentioned, Noah Cannon of Leo, it's his first year, 25-2. A 1995 Leo grad. He has his Lions back to state for the first time since 1998. Leo is wearing its dark road uniforms with white trim. Breese Central, the home whites and blue trim, purple trim, I guess you'd say. The officials working tonight's third state quarterfinal game: Robin Roberts from Bloomington, Marty Flaherty from Andalusia, and Mark Moberly from Leroy. Those will be the 3 gentlemen calling tonight's game here at Carver Arena. We mentioned it's 2 contrasting styles, a team that would rather walk the ball up the floor against a team that wants to go 150 miles an hour. We'll see which side wins out here. It should be a great, great game. As Lee Hall said at the top of the broadcast, Peoria Christian is already in, Winnebago is already in, and we've got 2 more semifinalists to determine tonight. Sarah Dill, who's the Director of Administration at Children's Hospital of Illinois at OSF St. Francis Medical Center here in Peoria, is kind of the honorary chair for the honorary flip of the ball, if you would. And she just hands the ball over to Robin Roberts, who will head up this officiating crew. And we'll jump center here. It'll be Adam Beanie for Breese Central and Frank Clare, the Northern Illinois University recruit for Leo. Buckle in, folks. It's state quarterfinal basketball action here in Peoria at Carver Arena. And we're glad you're alongside here along the lines of the IHSA television network.
And one thing, Kurt, that I want to have the fans watch very carefully, you're going to have to beat Breese. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. But Leo is such an explosive defensive team that one of those sides is going to win out. Leo's going to hope to create turnovers. Breese Central does not commit turnovers. That is going to be a critical part of this game.
Now we've got our whistle. Now we've got our opening tip. It's controlled by Leo, and we're underway here in the third state quarterfinal game here in Peoria between Leo and Breese Central. Man-to-man defense right away by Breese.
Breese usually plays more of a denial-type defense, but Coach Eagleson did not think he could pressure as much against this Leo team.
And we'll see after a made basket, certainly Leo will use its full court press, 2-2-1 format. And we've got a foul already. And it's going to be against Breese Central. That's going to be against Adam Beanie, his first.
And that is a 6'7", 250-pound freshman who made that move down there, Kurt.
I don't think there's any doubt about which team is the most athletic team here in the Elite Eight, but it's not always the athletic team that wins.
Now, I know that Coach Eagleson would rather play more pressure on the ball, but he figures that Leo might pose too many problems just like that.
Driving to the basket, missing is Keelan Donnell, and the Cougars come away with it. Donnie Pedersen with that rebound. He'll bring the ball up the floor.
Well, you'll see a very methodical, disciplined offense by Breese Central.
And they're really a guard-dominated team. Here's Beanie. His first shot is no good off the front of the iron and tipped out and controlled by Leo. Keelan Donald comes away with it. Donald is a terrific athlete, unquestioned leader of the team. He's an all-Catholic League performer in both basketball and football. The quarterback of the football team and the point guard of the basketball team. And the first shot by Michael Stipe goes down. 2-0 Leo. Cougars move the ball up the floor before Leo could get set in that press.
And with that press, Leo is hoping that Breese Central will go a little bit faster than they want to go.
Ball was kicked out of bounds. We're just underway. We played just over a minute here. 12-game winning streak for Stan Eagleton's team. And Stan Eagleton is, as we mentioned, just thankful to be down here for a second straight year. Longtime coaches really begin to appreciate that road to the Elite Eight after you've been slaving away all those years, hammering away, and you finally get a chance to taste what it's like to come downstate. From the outside, Frank Clare's first shot is no good. But Leo gets an offensive board. They're going to load up the offense again.
I'm very impressed with Leo's patience right now offensively.
And a traveling violation against Frank Clare.
As you said earlier, Kurt, Noah Cannon takes this personally because Leo is his love. That's where he went to high school, and it's more than just a job for him.
You see that his team has won 12 of its last 13. A triple overtime loss to St. Ignatius in February, their last defeat. Running the floor is Beanie. The ball's out of bounds. Leo with the quick hands.
I think Leo would gladly give up a couple quick breaks if they think Breese would pick up the tempo like that. So Breese has got to be very careful not to get put into the trap of running with Leo.
It's really a mind game in the first quarter, isn't it? I mean, you're trying to feel out your opponent. You're trying to establish what you hope is your team's best shot at controlling the tempo of the game.
You're exactly right. Leo goes 2-3 on the out-of-bounds play. I thought it would be really important for Breese to get out early since they had the experience of playing on this floor last year.
Beanie missed it. Cleared on the defensive end by Stipe. Back come the Lions. They lead it 2-0. Again, Breese staying in that man-to-man defense. We'll see some substitutions at the next whistle. Leo plays 11 men. They have what they call an 11-man rotation. So they will freely substitute. Here's Clare from the outside. He can't get it. Rebound to the Cougars. Pedersen brings the ball up the floor. He already has 2 rebounds. Pedersen splits the point guard responsibilities with Cole Schragler. Brickler from the outside of 3, and Adam Brickler puts Breese on the scoreboard.
Brickler was the 6th man on last year's team, so he got some significant minutes, and he stepped right up and knocked that down to give Breese an early lead.
3-2 now in favor of Breese Central. Their first lead of the game, first basket of the game. Claire is guarded by Brickler. Hangs, fires, missed the shot, got his rebound, stuck it back in.
Outstanding play by Frank Claire. He missed his shot, and he saw where it was coming off and went after it, got it, and stuck it back in.
Well, they refer to him as a quiet assassin. He's not going to make a whole lot of noise out there, and he's very smooth with the way he moves up and down the floor. 4-3, the Leo advantage. Ryan Meyer with the basketball. He transferred in from Carlisle. His father is the superintendent at Breese Central, and so he moved from the Carlisle school district over to Breese Central. When his dad got the job, he missed the shot but got his own rebound. About halfway through the season last year, he realized he'd be coming here. Followed his team last year down to state after his team, Carlisle, was eliminated. Leo comes away with it. Allen Downey, who the coaching staff refers to as a scoring machine. He lost the ball that time, though. Beanie comes away with it.
He tried to make a one-hand pass, and when the Breese Central man got into the passing lane, he couldn't pull it back.
Just underway. Not much flow, at least in the opening couple of minutes, and we kind of expected that when we had two teams from opposite, they're polar opposites, if you will, in this basketball world. And there's Beanie from the outside, gets the shooter's touch.
I'm really kind of surprised at Leo's tempo there, Kurt. I thought that they would be more willing to get the ball up and down the floor, but they're playing more of a disciplined style than I imagined.
Yeah, I expected them to be up and down the floor really right off the bat. Yet we've seen no transition baskets. Frank Claire's going to get to the free throw line, however.
And I know this is bothering Coach Eagleson because I know the type of defensive coach that he is. He wants to be denying all passing lanes and playing right up in your face, but he's doing a wonderful job as a coach to stay off these guys a little bit, let them have that first couple steps.
Well, as we mentioned, Frank Claire is not only the only Class A player here in this tournament that has a signed basketball scholarship for next year, he's the only Class A player in the state that has a signed Division I basketball scholarship. As we mentioned, he's going to play for Rob Judson at Northern Illinois University starting next fall.
Noah Cannon took over for the legendary Jerry Tokars, who had such great success in Chicago De La Salle. And Coach Tokars left this in great hands to a nice young man.
Get a good look at Frank Claire, the 6'6" senior, 210 pounds. Good mid-range jump shot. And he knocks down the free throws. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And by Chevrolet. Stop by and see your local Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, or Central Illinois Chevy dealer today. And by Atco. You've got to drive one. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Apt Electronics and Appliances. For the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price, visit Apt in Glenview. And by Massey Ferguson. What to depend on. Kurt Pegler, Roger Lowe back with you. Our sideline reporter is Lee Hall. We're just underway in the third quarterfinal game here in Peoria. Winnebago and Peoria Christian already winning today. They've moved on to the semifinals. And Leo leads Breese Central here 6-5 in this third state quarter. And we've got a foul in the backcourt.
We said at the outset, Kurt, that you had to beat Breese. They were not going to beat themselves. And in the first 5 minutes of this first quarter, they have not turned the ball over yet. So Leo's pressure has not been anything that Breese cannot handle.
Talking with the Breese Central coaches yesterday, they said, you know, we're going to face a team that plays really a style unlike anything that we've seen all year, but they really believe that they have prepared well for it. And I'd say in the first 5 minutes of action that we've seen, it looks like they are. They're going to calm and cool under this pressure.
I thought an early start was going to be a critical point for Breese Central to make Leo play from behind.
Cole Schrage with the basketball. He's checked in. He drives, and he draws a foul. So Schrage, who last year was a key reserve for the Cougars, is now going to the free throw line.
55% free throw shooter on the year, and he made a real nice move to the basket there. Caught the Leo man flat-footed and took him right to the basket.
And this young man led the team with 78 assists. He is a slasher. He's more comfortable driving the ball to the basket as he is standing out of the perimeter and shooting. So you're going to see him take the ball to the hole quite a bit tonight.
And as you can see, he has an injury to his index finger on his shooting hand.
And the second free throw rattles home. And we're tied at 6 with under 3 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Tracy Robinson's checked in the game for the first time for Leo.
Again, notice the respect Breese is giving to Leo with the amount of distance there are away from the basketball.
Claire works the baseline. Offensive foul against Frank Claire.
Well, I'll tell you, that doesn't surprise me a bit. The style of Stan Eagleson plays, the young man taking a charge, Pedersen, tremendous job defensively.
And so the first foul of the night against the Leo star player, and the third team foul for the Lions here in the opening half. And Breese Central again doing a nice job in breaking that pressure.
Every pass is made with a purpose too, Kurt. Every pass is caught about head level, right where the teammate is expecting the ball.
And both of these teams really trying to forge traditions for their schools. We mentioned that Breese Central is on its second consecutive trip here to the Elite Eight, and Leo making just its second appearance, its first one back in 1998. They'd like to be regulars down here.
That's right, and Leo's played such an incredibly tough schedule, finishing second in the Catholic League South to Brother Rice. Every night out for Leo has been just a battle. And Breese Central, like we said, is played in the tough southern part of the state. A rough road to get here. Both teams definitely prepared for this game.
Well, the Lions are 10-0 against Class A teams, and the bulk of their schedule is against AA opponents in the Chicago Catholic League. They're 15-5 against AA schools. As we approach the 2-minute mark left here, first quarter. Shot partially blocked by Stephen Benjamin. Terrific athletic play by Benjamin. He's considered the best athlete on the team, at least by the Lions coaching staff. And a block on the other end. This time it's Brickler that gets his hand in the action.
Well, this tempo is Breese Central right now, 6-6 with 1:40 to go in the first quarter. I don't think Stan Eagles can ask for anything more.
The Lions playing an aggressive man-to-man defense as well. Pedersen had a shot rejected that time. It was Tracy Robinson who came over on the defensive end. So we've seen some terrific D in the last 3 possessions. From the outside, Alan Downing. This shot, Pedersen gets the rebound for the Cougars. Now it's Schrage that brings the ball up the floor. Here's Beanie. Drew contact, but traveled before it.
Well, he stepped on number 4, Stephen Benjamin's foot, caused him to trip, but no foul against Leo.
Benjamin leaves the game, and he's replaced by Keelan Donald again.
We said in the outset that if Breese could keep the game in the 50s, they would have a tremendous chance to win the game, and Leo's kind of playing into their hands right now, Kurt.
Well, certainly, as you said, a 6-6 game with 1 minute to go in the first quarter is just what the doctor ordered for Breese Central. Here's Downing looking on the inside. He goes on the inside, and it's Kewan Leach who's just checked in, and he's going to get to the free throw line.
I'm very impressed with the patience that Leo shows offensively. We talked to Noah Cannon yesterday, the Leo coach, and we were both impressed with what a disciplined coach he was, and it shows on his offensive end for his team.
Brickler picks up that foul. That's his second of the game, and the third team foul against Breese Central. Kewan Leach, K-I-J-U-A-N-E is how he spells it. He's a 6-foot, 170-pound sophomore guard.
And this is the one that Coach Cannon says will be an all-stater by the time he's a senior. It's very high on him.
Yeah. He thinks that before this young man graduates, everybody in the state's going to know who he is. Good on the free throws. And Leo's got an 8-6 lead, and here's that full court pressure again. Cougars break it. Nicely done again. 45 seconds to go here, opening quarter. Leo with a 2-point lead. From the outside, a 3 is up and down. Adam Beanie, who shoots the 3-point shot at 32%, just his 12th 3-point make of the season. But he's given Breese Central a 1-point advantage at 9-8. And a foul against Breese Central, it appears, as Terrence Robinson was driving the basketball.
If you had told Coach Cannon before the game that his team's going to be shooting 25%, they'd only be down by 1 point, he'd be thrilled with that. Leo shooting 25% and Breese 30.
Fourth team foul against Breese Central. It doesn't appear that Leo is in any hurry to hold for the last shot of the quarter. Shot missed by Robinson. Rebound by Donald. He can't get it. Back up. Can't get it. Tipped again. Ball on the floor. Leo comes away with it. How about Terrence Robinson on his back coming away with it? Now it's Tracy Robinson from the outside. He can't get it. And the rebound's finally corralled by Ryan Meyer. 3 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Ball's on the floor, and that's going to win the opening quarter. So it looked like a little rugby at the end there. And Breese Central has a 1-point lead. 9-8 at the end of the first quarter here at Carver Arena. Back with more from Peoria in the Class A state quarterfinals after these local messages.
And welcome back to downtown Peoria, Carver Arena. Quarterfinal number 3 today. It's Chicago Leo taking on Breese Central, and we're having some scoreboard issues, as you might be able to tell. The first quarter, they were only able to keep the clock and the points per player. They were not able to display the points for each team. Now they've had to take out they put a new unit in, a new board unit to type things in, and it looks like we may have it now. Breese with a 9-8 lead, guys.
Well, thank you, Lee. Yeah, a little discombobulated everybody here at Carver Arena when that scoreboard went out. The fans were trying to figure out what the score was. We all knew how much time was left in that opening quarter, but the running score was not kept, but hopefully we'll get that rectified and have that going. Of course, we were able to keep score in the truck, and that's why you folks at home didn't notice any change in the scoring. 30% shooting for Breese Central, 3 of 10. 17% shooting for Leo at 2 of 12. So neither team tearing it up in the first 8 minutes.
And the one thing you do not want to do, Kurt, as a coach, is to bring that up in the huddle. You just want to tell your kids to keep running their offense. Things are going to start falling. The players are not really used to this huge background. So just don't bring up that fact as a coach. Let the kids just do what they do naturally, and things will start turning around.
Breese Central celebrated a volleyball state championship back in 1996, and the boys basketball team would like to add a little hardware to their trophy case. Well, we mentioned that 30% shooting for Breese Central is certainly out of whack. That team shoots nearly 50% at 49.8% for the season. It's the highest field goal percentage of any of the state quarterfinalists. You shoot 50%, you're going to win a lot of games.
You shoot 50% at any level, you're exactly right. You're going to win a lot of games. And Leo has proved their dominance again in the first quarter on the boards, outboarding Breese Central 11-6. So Breese is going to have to do just a little bit better job of putting a body on one of the Leo players to make sure that Leo can't go over the top of him.
You see that graphic? Leo, track and field state champions 5 times, including the 03 Class A championship. Stephen Benjamin, which is a player on this Leo basketball squad, considered the best athlete of the team, is a state track champion in the triple jump. He finished second in the long jump, and he was a part of the winning 4x200 meter relay team. So these guys have some athletes, and they wouldn't mind seeing this thing get into a track meet.
I'm thinking that maybe this zone press that Leo's been employing, they're hoping will turn into some more fast break points. I think that Leo's offense is predicated a lot by their defense, Kurt, and when their defense can create turnovers, they can get themselves into some fast break situations.
And it seems like we've got the scoreboard situation all squared, and we're underway in the second period of action. The Cougars of Breese Central in the white uniforms, the Lions of Chicago Leo in the black uniforms, and a quick timeout. Breese Central, Cole Schrage had to call timeout. He lost the dribble there, and he was pressured, and he didn't want to give it up on a 5-second call.
That was the best job of overplaying and pressure defense that Leo's shown so far.
And we want to thank the good folks at Chili's of East Peoria for helping feed our crew today. Chili's is right across from the Illinois River, across from Carver Arena. It's a great place to stop in for lunch or dinner. You can enjoy appetizers and salads and their world-famous fajitas. Visit them at 800 Riverside Drive in East Peoria, across from Walmart. Thanks to Chili's for feeding our hungry crew with their bottomless stomachs. And we know that we've got to keep our crew well fed.
It's going to be interesting also to see, Kurt, if Leo's going to try to let Schwagi take some shots. Schwagi has a problem with his hand. I didn't see that yesterday in the practice, and you wonder if the bandage on his right hand will cause his shot to be a little bit thrown off. So we'll see if Leo lays off him a little bit.
Now the Cougars and Lions are back on the floor again. You've just joined us. You haven't missed much. We're just underway in the second period of action. Breeze ahead of Leo, 9-8, third state quarterfinal action here at Carver Arena. One of these teams trying to get to the semifinals. And a steal, Keelan Donald all the way down, and he lays it in.
And that's the chess match. Can the discipline style of Breeze, you have to beat Breeze up against the defense starts the offense for Leo.
Now Breeze Central attacks the press and gets a shot that time by Ryan Meyer, but he can't get it to go down, and back to get it is Q1 Leach. And here come the Lions. This is more their pace, up and down. Claire. Leach. Down to Claire. Nice give and go. Can't get a shot. Tipped in, though. He followed the shot. Nicely done that time by Frank Claire.
Frank Claire was open before that. They didn't give him the ball, but he did a nice job of sticking it on the putback.
6 points now. 6 of his team's 12. So half the scoring for Leo is coming off the fingertips of Frank Claire, the Northern Illinois University recruit. Noah Cannon of the Lions is up, screaming all kinds of instructions. He hasn't sat down yet.
No, he sure hasn't. Just a methodical passing offense here for Breese Central.
Hoop and foul by Ken Detmer, who's in the game for the first time, and an opportunity for a three-point play for the junior center.
You'll see Detmer here taking it strong, and was fouled on the way up by Michael Stipe. Three-point opportunity now for the Breese Central Ball Club. I'm looking at this roster here, Kurt, and the top 8 players that Breese Central plays, 6 will be back next year. So this is a young team, kind of a rebuilding year, so to speak, for Breese Central.
Well, the interesting thing I thought that Stan Eagleson said was that he thought that he had a pretty deep junior class and that there were a lot of players who were similar as far as their talent level was concerned in that class, and you're right. You know, you get to the state two years in a row and you start learning what it takes to get down there, and there's a travel violation against Leo, and that just runs from your senior class to your junior class to your sophomore class, and you start learning what it takes to get back to the state quarters.
Point well taken, because success will breed success at any level.
Michael Stipe comes out of the game now for Leo. Alan Downing is in. As we approach the 6-minute mark left here, opening half. Breese Central and Chicago Leo tied 12-all. Tom Barrows checked in as well for the Cougars. Now it's patient offense. Beanie goes on the inside, kick back out. Ryan Meyer for 3 is good.
That was never a threat to be a pass inside the score. When they threw the ball inside to Detmer, he kicked it right back out for the 3 by Meyer.
Meyer likes that corner. He was planted there earlier, but couldn't get the shot down. Allen Downing the miss, and a foul on the rebound.
You know, 40 years ago, Kurt, when you got the ball inside, you taught your postman to have some type of post move to score. Now you want to teach your postman to turn and pass and look for the 3-point shot.
And Frank Claire has picked up his 3rd foul, and that's why you're seeing him on the bench. So Claire, the team's leading scorer at 14.3 points a game, finds himself in foul trouble here in the first half, and he's sitting on Noah Cannon's bench.
And the team leader at the same time.
The Cougars trying to improve on a 3-point lead. Beanie guarded by Benjamin, who's backed off him, and then he knocked down the triple.
Well, I've seen him make 2 now, so you're going to have to put some pressure on him. You can't let him shoot it.
And the Cougars are now 4 of 7 from the 3-point line. And that shooting percentage is going to go up. No look pass. Tracy Robinson down to Keelan Donald. How is that for Flash?
And Beanie is hurt a little bit. He took a pretty hard spill there.
And the Cougars bring the ball up the floor. They've been very impressive in the way that they've been able to break that pressure.
Beanie's hurting a little bit. He's grabbing his right elbow. This is going to be a major concern for Stan Eagleson if this is a problem.
And the foul on Keelan Donald is going to send a free throw to the free throw. It's going to be Donnie Pedersen. I'm sorry about that, Roger.
They're going to take him out right now, but I was going to say this is going to take more than that to keep Beanie out of this game for very long. He might have just hit his crazy bone.
Right. Because he was holding on to that elbow. See if we can pass any injury information along, although it did not appear to be very serious. Pedersen is a very good free throw shooter at better than 77%. And of course, when we say that, he misses. Robinson clears. Under 5 minutes to go here, second period. Leo trying to get into an offensive flow. Baseline shot is missed by Terrence Robinson. Ball spiked off the floor, and it's going to be Leach that tracks it down for the Lions. So far, the advantage as far as the pace is concerned is going to the Cougars.
Well, no question about that.
Nice driving shot there by Terrence Robinson, who missed, but a good follow that time by Downey.
15-6 edge occurred on the boards for Leo.
That's a terrific statistic to keep our eyes on. The team that likes to press, likes to control the offensive and defensive glass, and Leo has been doing that. But Breese still has the lead thanks to his three-point shooting. Here's Bickler. He may have traveled. He did.
They were little steps, but they were steps nonetheless.
When you're 6'4" and 200 pounds, though, you can't hide those little steps. They look a little bit more obvious than when you're 5'11". Time out on the floor. 4:06 to go till halftime. Breeze 18, Leo 16. Back with more from Carver Arena after this network break.
And welcome back to Carver Arena. Breeze Central with the 2-point lead over the Leo Lions. And we've got a former Breeze Central player with us right here. John Kempworth played last year against a Chicago Catholic League team. It's kind of like deja vu all over again for you, isn't it?
I hope they pull us out.
Tell me about last year's game. What do you remember? You lost to Hales Franciscan, who ended up winning the state tournament.
We had them in the first half, but they just pulled away from us in the second half. We just couldn't keep up with them. We just ran out of gas.
Tell me about, you got a 2-point lead out there right now. I know you'd love to be out there with them.
Yeah, I would. It's looking good right now. As long as they just hit their shots and play good defense, I think it should be good.
All right, John Kempworth, thanks for joining us.
Yep, no problem.
All right, he'd love to be out there in a Breeze Central uniform again, guys.
Thank you, Lee. Terrence Robinson with the short shot has tied this basketball game up at 18 all. One common thread between these two teams. Both lost to Chicago Hales Franciscan last year. Of course, Hales winning the state championship, Breeze losing to Hales Franciscan in the state quarterfinals. Leo beaten by Hales Franciscan in the sectional final, as mentioned in that interview. Cole Schrage had a nice move, but he couldn't finish the play. The ball's out of bounds down to the other end, and it's going to go back to Breeze Central.
We said at the onset, too, that Breeze had to keep away from turnovers. We didn't want any Danish, and we wanted the scores in the 50s. Breeze Central right now only has 3 turnovers, and the score looks like it's going to be somewhere in the mid-20s at the end of the first half.
Well, the first 4 postseason wins for Breeze Central this year were by a combined 13 points. In fact, there was a 22-21 final score in a regional game against Trenton Westland. So if the game is in the 20s, the Cougars have said, we've been there, done that before.
And I think Breeze can get the ball off the floor now. It's a 5-on-3.
Cougars have the numbers. Beanie's back in the game. Pump fake, pull up from 15, looks good. No ill effects from the elbow injury.
He's a good player. He's just strong fundamentally and a tough kid.
Beanie averages 15.5 points a game. He has 8 here in the first half as we approach the 2.5-minute mark left here. Now from the outside answering, right back at you is Keelan Donald.
He's going to have to be the leader right now with Frank Clare on the ball game. And as you said, the quarterback of the football team will have to lead the basketball team.
Nice pass, Schrage on down to Pedersen that gets hammered. He's going to go to the free throw line.
Well, they made sure he didn't get the 2 points, that's for sure, on the layup. And now he's going to have to earn it.
Let's listen in. We've got a microphone down there and our IHSA TV sounds of the game.
He didn't brace himself much with his hands there. I think that was an awful blow there for number 23.
I'm glad that those young men are, 16 and 17 years old, because they have the resiliency to bounce back from something like that.
They'd be dragging us off the floor by our feet.
Off the floor if that were the case. But Pedersen has picked himself up. He's mopped off his brow, and he's ready to get to the free throw line, where he shoots it at 77%. He led the team in scoring 2 times this year, but more importantly, had 73 assists as he shares that point guard duty along with Cole Schrage.
I've watched him play defense, and he and Schrage are outstanding defensive players. You can't be good unless you have good guard play, especially on the defensive end.
Well, the calling card this year for Stan Eagleson's team has been defense. And in fact, after beating Carrollton in the Super Sectional on Tuesday, the Carrollton coaching staff said that was the best defensive team we've played all year long.
And again, about a 5-foot cushion they're giving Leo all over the floor.
Pump fake by Tracy Robinson, and now he's going to get to the free throw line as he drew contact. And Robinson, who was once a starter and now is coming off the bench in a reserve role, is going to go to the free throw line. He's a guy that is considered a point forward. We've seen his flash before. He's got a knack for the spectacular pass. He can shoot it and he can pass it.
He was 5'11" as a freshman. He's grown 8 inches now in just this little bit of time.
Think about that. Came in as a 5'11" point guard.
And you know, like you just said, Kurt, he had guard skills, and you know, as his body grew, he just continued to have his guard skills.
You see his numbers. He shoots the free throw at better than 63%. He splits those foul shots. And Leo has tied this basketball game up. It's 21-all with 2 minutes now to go here in the second quarter.
Well, I don't think Stan Eagleson could have drawn this up any nicer on the chalkboard before the game. This is just exactly the way he wants his kids to play.
Yeah, he did not want this to get into a trap game, and it hasn't. And that was an unfortunate situation for Detmer to get himself too far underneath the basket. Now it's Robinson, left open for 3. Hello. So Tracy Robinson, who shoots the three-point shot at 31%, just his 32nd three-point make of the year.
And as you said, Kurt, there's your point forward.
And there's a steal in the backcourt. Alan Downey comes away with it. And the Leo pressure comes away with 2 points.
Their defense starts their offense.
5 turnovers now for Breese Central. That one costly as it immediately was cashed in for a layup. So Leo's on a 5-0 run. They have a 5-point lead.
I am really impressed with the Leo defense. Coach Cannon has done an outstanding job with this team.
I agree. I think we've talked so much about their athleticism and their ability to run people in and out. Nice basket that time, hanging and firing his beanie. But I think offensively they've shown a lot of discipline, and defensively as well.
They're as disciplined as team as I've seen down here.
Beanie now with 12 points, 12 of his team's 23 as we're in the final minute of play here before halftime. Now from the outside, it's Donald. Missed the open jumper. Offensive board by Alan Downing and drawing the foul. That's a 6'2" guard down there amongst the post players.
And that's a 3-year starter for you, and he's going to have to make up the ground now with Claire out of the ball game. Also, the leading free throw shooter on the team, Kurt, 71%.
Well, his high this year was a 26-point effort. He led the team in scoring 13 times. He has a knack for finding the basket. And he can score on the inside or the outside.
I know we're beating this like a drum, but Leo has 20 rebounds and Breese Central 7. You know, defense does not end when they shoot it. Defense ends when you get it.
You see the numbers for Downing. 8 seniors on this Chicago Leo Lions club, and here's one of the 8.
And we said a senior moment would be very important. These guys would have to play disciplined, and they have.
4-point Leo lead, half a minute to go here. Near steal, lightning quick hands by Keelan Downing.
Shrugging needs to watch out. He's using his off arm to push off. He could be called for an offensive foul soon.
20 seconds left here, second period. Short shot missed by Detmer. May have been scared off underneath by the defenders. Likely the final possession here of the half. Donald to run the show. One-on-one with Myers. Hangs, fires from 15 feet, can't get it. And that's going to be the final possession. We've reached the half here at Carver Arena in the third state quarterfinal game. And Chicago Leo has a 27-23 lead over Breese Central. Probably not exactly the way it was drawn up, but a 4-point lead nonetheless for the Lions. And Lee Hall is standing by with Noah Cannon, the head coach of the Lions. Lee?
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot, Coach. 27-23, is that tempo to your liking?
Well, second half, we started getting out of tempo, but we're not playing no defense. We're reaching, we're not moving our feet. We can do a better job in that, and definitely third quarter, we're going to do a better job defensively.
All right, good luck to you second half.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, thanks. Noah Cannon, head coach of the Leo Lions. Back to you, Kirk.
All right, thank you, Lee. Yeah, the first-year Lions coach has his team headed to the locker room with a 4-point lead. It's 27-23 here, halftime of the state quarterfinals. Back with more from Carver Arena after this network break.
And welcome back. We are at halftime. Leo, the 27-23 lead over Breese Central, and we are joined by a couple of gentlemen from the two competing schools here tonight. Ed Adams, the athletic director at Leo High School. Has to be an exciting time getting down here.
Exciting time for Leo High School, our community, and for the city of Chicago. We hope to do well down here.
Yeah, you saw Hales Franciscan, a conference mate of yours, come down here and win it last year. And I was talking to the coach yesterday, and you guys kind of feel like you're carrying the banner not only for yourselves, but for the conference, for the whole city of Chicago.
I would absolutely agree with that. I think we are carrying the banner for the entire city of Chicago and for Leo High School and their community.
Tell me about Leo High School. It's an all-boys
It's an all-boys school with about 300 all boys. And Mayor Daly is doing a lot of community projects within our community. And we're just excited to be down here.
You don't see a lot of all boys or all girls schools anymore. What kind of unique challenges does that bring you?
I think it brings a good structure of academics and discipline within the classroom. And I think it's doing very good for us to be all boys.
All right, thank you very much. Ken Jones is here. We remember him from a year ago. Breese Central won and out a year ago. That's probably a pretty painful memory, I'm guessing.
Yes, it is. It's a painful memory with a first round loss, but let me tell you, Lee, it was an exciting memory to be up here for the first time in school history, and for us to be up here again for a second consecutive year. It's pretty exciting.
Especially when you look at your roster. I mean, you got one senior in the starting lineup. The guys were talking during the game about, well, it looked like a rebuilding year, but here you are.
Well, we had a great junior class, sophomore class, going to be juniors this year, and we knew that they had a great record on the JV level. And I can't say that we're carrying the banner for as many populated areas as Chicago, but Clinton County is not quite the same population as Chicago is, but we're carrying the banner for Clinton County, and let me tell you, they're all proud of our team, and we're doing a great job.
Breese Central, I know one other thing about Breese Central, good volleyball program. Tell me what else makes you proud, what other things stand out about Breese Central High School?
Well, academics is outstanding. What's amazing is most of our athletes are in our top 25% academically. So we not only have good athletes, but they're smart too on top of that, and that's something to be very proud of. Our girls basketball program it was in 3 back-to-back super sectionals and didn't quite get over that hump, but they're at that level, and all they had to do is get a win and they'd be right here equal with the boys, and the boys are really excited about being up here, as are their fans.
Ken Jones, Ed Adams, thank you gentlemen both very much. Good luck to you both here tonight. We're at halftime, back with more from Carver Arena after this network break.
Cold in Peoria outside, warm inside Carver Arena. Halftime, 27-23. Leo leading Breese Central in this third state quarterfinal. Kurt Pegler and Roger Lowe with you. If you take a look at stats, probably the biggest one that jumps out is that rebound discrepancy, 21-8 in favor of the Leo Lions.
Leo has done an outstanding job on their offensive boards, and I'm certain that that's what Coach Eagleson is talking about to his kids. After I heard Coach Cannon talk to Lee Hall, I think there's probably a lot of information going on in that Leo locker room. I don't think he can be very happy the way his kids have played.
You take a look at those halftime stats there, you see the score again in favor of Leo. The field goals, roughly the same, but that rebound statistic jumps out. And actually the three-point field goals in favor of Breese Central has helped them. They've made 4 as opposed to Leo's just 1.
And Breese has made 4 of 12 from 2-point, 4 of 7 from 3, so they're actually getting better looks from the 3-point range. Somebody's going to have to help Beanie. Beanie has 12 points right now of their 23, so someone's going to have to step up and give him a little support.
Are you surprised by the turnover situation? Each team with just 5 turnovers, and despite the full court pressure, just 3 steals for Leo in that first half.
I'm shocked by that. I thought that Breese would be able to hold the turnovers down. I wasn't certain that they could hold it down that low. Breese hasn't been putting much pressure on Leo, however. That number does not surprise me as much.
We've talked about what Leo did in the first half. If you're Breese Central and you're Stan Eagleson, what are you telling your troops here at halftime?
I'm telling them to do exactly what they're doing defensively. We're going to have to do a better job of boxing out on the boards and just keep running the offense. That ball's going to start falling. They're getting good shots. It's just not going in.
4-point halftime lead for the Lions. We'll get set for third period action from Carver Arena, the third state quarterfinal, after these local messages on the IHSA Television Network. 27-23, Leo the halftime lead. Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights that shaped the play here at Carver Arena.
Again, this is a disciplined style of offense that Leo was running in the first half there. A nice job. Again, Breese Central with good spacing, and there's Beanie. Beanie's been outstanding from three-point range.
Michael Stipe got that first basket on our highlights, and then here's that inside-outside kicking around, and Ryan Meyer knocked down the three.
Like we said, never a look by the inside man. It was designed for a three-point play all the way.
Meanwhile, they've just crashed the offensive glass. That's Alan Downing scoring on the inside for the Lions. They have that huge advantage underneath.
21-8, as you said, and there again, just another play that Leo was able to get the ball inside. Once again, Beanie has just been outstanding. A nice little penetration move off the glass, and here's Beanie again.
Well, he's the game's leading scorer. He has 12 points for the Cougars, 12 of his team's 23. Lee Hall is standing by now with Stan Eagleson, the head coach of the Cougars.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Second straight trip for Stan Eagleson. Other than rebounding, that first half was pretty even, Coach.
That's the biggest thing. We got to do a better job getting a body on him when the ball goes up, and we need to get the ball inside more too. They're letting them push us out too far on the perimeter. We got to get the ball into the post and then throw it back out, or get it in there and make a strong move. Try to get to the free throw line.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to work. Thanks a lot. Good luck to you. All right, Kurt, back to you.
Thank you, Lee. 27-23. The Leo Lions ahead of the Breese Central Cougars. Back with third quarter action from Carver Arena after this network break. Back here at Carver Arena as we get set for third quarter action. Leo 27 and Breese Central 23. Kurt Pegler, Roger Lowe, and Lee Hall with you. Third state quarterfinal here at Carver Arena. A thrilling victory for Winnebago, a thrilling victory for Peoria Christian earlier today. And two more games tonight, this one, and then Pana and Quincy Notre Dame to follow. You see the scoring leaders in that first half. Adam Beanie leading all scorers with 12 for Breese Central. Donald and Claire each with 6 points, and Frank Claire spent much of the first half on the bench after he picked up his third foul. And Alan Downing has 5 for the Lions, who have a 4-point advantage here at the break. They are continuing some work on the scoreboard. They've had some scoreboard issues here at Carver Arena, so while they tinker with the scoreboard, hopefully they can get the, oh yes, they do have it up and running. They've tried 3 separate keyboard issues, and it looks like thankfully they've been able to rectify that situation, identify the problem, and change it.
The one statistic that they showed on the board, the two leading scorers for Leo had 6 and Downing had 5. 7 different players this year have led Leo in scoring, so this is a very balanced team. There's no stars on this team other than maybe Frank Claire, but this team has been used to sharing the ball, and it's directly to Noah Cannon. He's very adamant about making sure all for one and one for all.
Here are those finals from the first 2 state quarterfinal games here at the Peoria Civic Center. Peoria Christian with a 79-65 win over Massac County. The game was closer than that final score would indicate. And Winnebago sweating out a victory, coming back from 11 down to beat St. Anne 62-60. That game went down to the final possession. So Peoria Christian will play Winnebago in the first state semifinal tomorrow morning. And Roger and I will have the call of that game tomorrow. And then we're awaiting the next 2 semifinalists, the winner of this game, and then the winner of the nightcap between Quincy Notre Dame and Pana. This is truly a wide open tournament.
That Winnebago win too, Kurt, we were talking about before we went on the air, was the same MO as the way they won the super sectional. They led for about 5.5 seconds in that super sectional win. Had to make free throws to beat Rock Falls. Did the same thing this afternoon to defeat a very, very good St. Anne team.
Well, certainly all the teams that have come here to Carver Arena have said that they thought they had a chance to win this thing because it's a wide open tournament. And we can direct you to the IHSA's website, www.ihsa.org. You've got all kinds of scoring totals and stats from the state tournament and breakdowns of the teams, all your prep sports news from throughout the state of Illinois at your fingertips at www.ihsa.org. Jim Albrecht and Matt Taphorn will call the 8:15 game tonight between Pana and Quincy Notre Dame. And again, the winner of this game and the winner of that game will play in tomorrow's second state semifinal here at Carver Arena.
One thing about the slow tempo of this game is that the legs of the players have been saved a little bit. They have to come back tomorrow, as you said, at 12:45, and then hopefully again at 8:15. So maybe the legs have been saved just a little bit by this slow tempo.
Both teams are headed back on the floor now as we get ready to start our second half of action. Leo wearing its dark road uniforms. Breese Central its home whites with purple trim. And both teams are sending out what appears to be the same 5 which started the game for one exception for Leo. We're seeing Tracy Robinson, who started the game on the bench for Leo, and he is in the starting five to open the second half. And we are underway with the third quarter action here at Carver Arena. Leo 27 and Breese Central 23. Downing is fouled on the lob-in pass. Schrage got him with the body.
Downing's just a little bit too strong for Schrage down there, Kurt, and held him in the post, and Schrage just could not get around him.
You take a look at really both teams especially, but I take a look at a lot of those guys for Leo, the players that are about 6'1" and under, and they're all built. They've all been in the weight room. Lob down low again to Downing. Around a double team, he lost the ball on the floor. And it's Pedersen that comes away with it for the Cougars. Just the 6th turnover of the game for Leo. Both teams have done a pretty good job of hanging on to the basketball and controlling it. As we say that, a steal. Kewan Leach all the way down, but he turned it back over.
And that is so unlike Cole Schrage, because the ball, when it's in his hands, doesn't go anywhere but to a Breese player. And nice job by the Leo defense.
I think we have yet to see truly the impact of the Leo full court pressure. We thought perhaps we'd see a lot more steals, a lot more turnovers, but really only 3 steals in that opening half. Now 4 in the game for Chicago Leo, which really prides itself on that full court pressure.
As we said, their defense creates their offense.
And I think a lot of that credit has to do with the Cougars knowing how to break that pressure. And we've got to foul away from the basketball, and it's going to be against Leo.
Well, you've got 2 disciplined coaches who are running 2 disciplined programs, and it shows in the style of play that we're seeing right now.
Foul is on Michael Stipe, which is his 2nd.
It'll be interesting to see who will step up for Breese Central other than Beanie. Someone has to.
Here's Schrage. Looking on the inside, gets it to Beanie. Worked his way inside, missed the short shot. Back to clear is Stipe. Now Leo quickly up the floor in transition. Robinson, pump fake. Beanie's on the floor. Now a 3 ball from the corner is up and down by Keelan Donald. Boy, he had a quick trigger and just let it go.
There's your leader, quarterback on the football team. He's done an outstanding job today. 9 points.
And the 7-point Leo lead is the largest of the game. Reach in foul that time. Keelan Donald that time was whistled for the infraction.
As a coach, I never really worried about that type of foul. It was a foul of aggression. He was going out after the ball, and Donald just tried to make something happen there.
Terrence Robinson will come in and send Tracy Robinson, no relation, back to the Leo bench.
I'll tell you what, when these kids come out of the ball game and Coach Cannon talks to them, they look him right in the eye.
Well, he says that they treat him as if he is their older brother. When he started at Leo 4 years ago, this senior class, they were freshmen. So all these seniors, these 8 seniors have been around him for 4 years now, and he's part of the family. And they're part of his family. Beanie inside to Pedersen. I should say that was from Brickler.
Nice interior passing by Breese Central. Again, a trademark of Coach Stan Eagleson's teams.
They needed something to get on the board here in the second half. 3 ball from the outside is missed by Donald. Schrage comes away with it, but he lost it. Turned it back over. Now Donald has it.
I just wonder if that hand is bothering Schrage. I can't answer that, but I just wonder.
Terrence Robinson. Tough shot. He was falling out of bounds, but the ball's going to go back to Leo as it was off the hands of Pedersen and out of bounds, and now we're seeing some more substitutions for the Lions. They're going to send 3 fresh bodies in.
Those are the ones you have to grab, Kurt, because Leo once again has another crack at it.
Now Frank Clare with his 3 personals is back in the game now. So Clare is in. We're seeing Deontay Gaskew again. He's back in. And Tracy Robinson, he got about a 45-second breather on the bench, is back in the game. Here's Clare now. Boy, that's a tough shot.
You can't guard that at this level. A big league move there.
6'6", 210-pound junior or senior knocked down that tough shot. He's got 8 points now. Boy, Alan Downing stepped in the passing lane, came away with a near steal, and now it is a steal. Quick hands by Leo. Robinson in transition. He lost the ball, though. And it's on the floor. Beanie had it. Did he call timeout? He did. How about that play by Adam Beanie? On the floor, grabbed it and called timeout before he was called for a travel.
Robinson tried to make a great pass there rather than just a good one. If he'd have stopped and made a bounce pass, it would have been a better play.
Timeout on the floor, 4:55 to go, third quarter. Leo leads Breese Central, 32-25. Back with more from Peoria after this network break. 32-25, a 7-point Leo lead. We're under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. State quarterfinal, Class A boys basketball here at Carver Arena in Peoria. Meyer thought about it, then thought about stepping inside. Boy, Leo rotates that defense so quickly. And Beanie was hacked that time. I believe they're going to get Stephen Benjamin on the foul.
One of the tenets of a good man-to-man defense is when the ball moves, you move, and Leo does that every time.
That is the first foul on Stephen Benjamin. And now we've got an officials timeout on the floor. We'll keep it here. 4:34 to go here in this third quarter, and we remind you that this IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Apt Electronics and Appliances for the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price. Visit Apt in Glenview. And by Massey Ferguson, what to depend on. .434 to go here, third quarter at Carver Arena. Kurt Pegler, Roger Lowe, Lee Hall with you. The third of 4 state quarterfinal games here at Carver Arena. Pana and Quincy Notre Dame will play in the nightcap. Leo has run out now to a 7-point lead. As there you see the graphic, Pana and Quincy Notre Dame follows this game. Is Leo doing what you thought it would do to start this second half, Roger?
Not at all. I thought Leo would extend their pressure a little bit more, try to get more tight turnovers against Breese Central. Breese Central needs to do something right now, Kurt. You and I talked about this earlier, to get this crowd back in the ball game, because they've got a huge contingent here, much larger than Chicago Leo brought, and players feed off the crowd, and they need to get the crowd in the ball game.
Well, that shooting percentage for Leo is now up to about 39%. Breese Central has it up to about 43%. They shoot 50%. They're a terrific shooting team, the best shooting team, at least percentage-wise, here in Peoria at the Elite Eight. But they're just not getting those opportunities. You take a look, they've had 21 attempts from the floor, 10 fewer than Leo. And a lot of that's because of that rebounding disparity. 23-9 in favor of Leo. The work on the boards. Here's Pedersen now. Meyer looking on the inside for Beanie. That's Beanie, he stepped outside. Being guarded by Stephen Benjamin. Leo bench is calling for an elbowing foul. Didn't get it. Now Pedersen. Here's Meyer. 4-3. Off the rim, can't get it, tipped out, and he goes and gets it. So the sophomore forward stuck with it. Now Barrow works himself to the baseline. Now it's Meyer from the other corner. He can't get it. Brickler tried to get it, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to go to Leo.
Well, what Meyer needs to do is just keep shooting, because he's getting good shots. The ball is just falling just a little bit short. He's got his head down right now. You don't want your shooters to do that. Get those heads up, let them just keep shooting them.
He's 2 of 8 from the floor, and he does need to make one maybe to get it kind of off the schneid here.
You know, a 3-point basket might be the gas that Breese Central needs to get him going.
Terrence Robinson walks the ball up the floor now for Leo. Here's Downey.
Breese Central so well coached defensively. Stan Eagleson, one of the most highly respected coaches in the state.
Now it's Clare. His shot is missed. Meyer on the backboard again for the Cougars. The Cougars trying to get the ball inside to Beanie, who steps outside, gets it. Now it's Meyer again. Beanie attracts a double team. Now from the outside, a 3 ball is missed again. Boy, the Cougars are snake bit. Back come the Lions. Here's Keelan Donald. Boy, in transition, he's going to be tough to beat. So athletic.
The last time down, Brickler got the ball inside and never looked at the basket. He needs to make himself a threat to score down there. It makes the 3-point pass in a little bit easier.
34-25. Leo's lead now, and we've got a whistle, and it's going to be against Leo. We'll see who they whistle that foul on. That's going to be on Alan Downing. That's his second.
Well, here comes your true point guard back in, Cole Schrage, and he's the one that's going to be taking care of the basketball for him and get him to the right people.
Well, you can hear off from our broadcast position, Noah Cannon barking out defensive instructions.
Leo goes zone out of bounds once again, Kurt.
Nice move that time by Schrage, but again, he couldn't finish. That happened one time in the second quarter. But there's Meyer out hustling everybody to come away with a loose ball. Skip pass to the corner. Now some perimeter passing. Ball knocked out of bounds. Quick hands by Frank Clare, stepped in the passing lane.
Nice job by Clare because Beanie really had his man sealed there.
Now Michael Stipe's going to come back in. Stipe returns and sends Frank Clare back to the Leo bench. 11-man rotation. This team is very deep. Lions just run guys in and out of the game.
Breese Central has to be thrilled by the way they've handled Clare so far. He only has 8 points. And once again, the zone, out of bounds. Leo will go 2-3.
And that's going to be a foul. A steal that time by Terrence Robinson. He stepped in the passing lane, and he drew the foul on Tom Barrow.
Dangerous pass, Kurt, also when you're trying to throw that 30 or 40-foot skip pass against such an athletic team as Leo.
Well, Breese is really in an offensive funk right now. They have just 2 points here in the third quarter.
And they've also had 4 turnovers this quarter, which is very unlike this basketball team.
Leo trying to extend a 34-25 lead. Downing on the low block, and he drew the contact. He's going to get to the free throw line. Well, he's one of those guys that, as we said, just has a knack for the basket. He's not the tallest guy out there. He may not be the strongest guy, but he might be the smartest guy because he finds a way to get to the free throw line, where he went 122 times during the regular season.
Made 71% of them. 3-year starter along with Frank Clare.
He's also a two-way player on the Leo football team, a wide receiver on offense and a defensive back on D. So now some substitutions. Kyle Norenbergs for the first time, Rogers checking in the game for the Cougars.
Excuse me, Kurt. A lot of times now, when you see games going at this type of style, players don't put their legs in those shots. A lot of shots will fall short.
That one is good. It's a 10-point Leo lead. At 35-25, we approach the 2-minute mark left here, third quarter. And the Cougars really need a basket here. Leo has held them to just 2 third-quarter points.
Well, this is the quietest I've heard this arena all day long.
Yeah, and Breese brought quite a few people. The Cougars did, but right now their cheering section is a bit quiet. Brickler inside, had a shot rejected that time, swatted right out of there by Tracy Robinson.
I'm glad that Brickler turned and looked at the basket, though. Make himself a threat.
Now it's Beanie, and that time he drew a foul on Keelan Donald.
Brickler is so strong down there, Kurt, and that's good. If he can just take a look at the basket, it might free open some of the other guys outside for the open shot.
Now Frank Clare comes back in the game, and Keelan Leach comes back in the game as well. Terrence Robinson and Michael Stipe go back to the Leo bench, and we'll see Tom Barrow come back in for Breese Central. He's going to send Ryan Meyer over to Stan Eagleson's bench.
Breese has done a much better job on the boards. That's what Coach Eagleson said they had to do when he came out for the third quarter.
Brickler may have walked, and he did. And again, the Cougars are having a real tough go of it on the offensive end.
That's their 11th turnover, and I would imagine that would be one of their higher numbers of the season.
Well, just 5 turnovers in the opening half, and now 6 turnovers here in the third quarter alone. Here's Clare. Lost the dribble, looking for help. Downing on the baseline. He's guarded by Barrow. We approach the minute mark left here. Third quarter action.
Nice post defense there by Barrow.
Inside to Downing, left alone. Reverse layup is good. Downing scoring in the paint. He now has 8.
You know, Leo's like a methodical boxer. They're just jab, 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 and pretty soon that knockout punch is going to come.
That's the truth. Now Brickler from the outside can't get it. Downing back on the defensive rebound now.
Let's see if they play for one. They've got momentum, and Coach Cannon is calling for one. That's a dual-edged sword. You know, the momentum's on your side, but Coach Cannon has done an outstanding job with this team. He knows his talent, and he's going to try to go in at least up 12 at the end of the third quarter.
Now this team undefeated against Class A competition this year, trying to go 11-0 against its Class A foes. Battle-tested, with a tough Double-A schedule playing in the Chicago Catholic League. And now in the final seconds of the third quarter, here in the state quarterfinals, Robinson works the baseline, tried to flip it inside to Downing, does. Downing, short shot, rolls in right at the buzzer. And Leo did exactly what it wanted to do, wind the clock down and score right at the buzzer. And they hold Breese Central to 2 points in the third quarter. 39-25 the score at the end of 3. Leo with a 14-point lead. Back with more from Peoria and Carver Arena after these local messages.
You know, I wonder, Kurt,
Welcome back to Carver Arena, Chicago. Leo, the 39-25 lead over Breese Central. We are with one of the unsung heroes for the Leo Lions. Lloyd Fuller started driving the team bus 23 years ago. How did that start?
Well, my son was a freshman at Leo, and I had a baseball team before, and I was taking them around. They found out that I was taking the baseball team around. Then they asked me to take the basketball team around. I've been doing it for every game ever since.
23 years, probably you figure about 30 games a year. That's over 7,000 games you've seen.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's for sure. And I enjoy doing all of them. But so far, the best one so far was coming down here this year, especially with the police escort in. It was really nice. All the kids, and we all just enjoyed the hell out of it. It was really nice.
You got to like the way things are going in this game.
Yes, sir. I just hope it can hold out. This is it. This is it.
All right, Lloyd, keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you.
All right, one of the Leo Lions unsung heroes. They lead here by 11. Back to you, Kurt.
Thank you, Lee, and a good start for the Cougars as they got on the board with a 3-point play there by Pedersen, which was equaling the amount of points they scored in that opening quarter by themselves.
And I saw a little bit more on-ball pressure for Breese Central. This is the type of style of play that Coach Eagleson likes. Maybe that'll transfer to the offensive end. Maybe light a fire to this ball club.
39-28, the Leo lead here. And the Lions have been just methodical, as Rogers mentioned on several different occasions. Here's Clare in the corner. He's in trouble. He gets it out to Downing. They're very alert. The Cougars are very alert every time Frank Clare touches the basketball.
And a little bit more pressure on the ball, as we just said.
Downing, low block. Threw it up, couldn't get it. Tried to get his offensive rebound. Out of bounds to Leo.
Well, that just breaks your back when you play good defense for 15 or 20 seconds and no one can get a hand on it.
But Downing loves to play in a low block, even as a guard. He loves to play down there, and a whistle, a foul right off of the inbounds, as Clare was fouled that time. He was fouled by Adam Brickler.
You'd have to be awfully strong if Downing gets post position to get around him. He's quite an athlete and pretty good basketball player.
That's the 4th foul now on Adam Brickler. We'll see how that affects his style. And off the inbounds pass that time, it's Downing scoring. Alan Downing in double figures in scoring now. He has 10. He joins Keelan Donald in double figures. Check that, Downing now has 12. He's taken over the team lead in scoring. Now from the outside, a big 3. That was needed by Ryan Meyer.
Good for you, Ryan Meyer. Just step right up and shoot it. You know you're a good shooter. The team needs you out there. Keep firing them.
Well, you mentioned he was 2 of 8 from the floor. Now he's 3 out of 9, and maybe that'll get his confidence back up on another whistle. And it's going to be against the Cougars.
Any shooter will tell you that the next shot is going to go in.
And if that's against Adam Brickler, he's done. That is. So Adam Brickler, less than 2 minutes into the 4th quarter, is fouled out, and the 6'4", 200-pound junior center, who's a force on the inside for the Cougars, is going to have to take a seat on the bench. That's a significant foul.
Well, everyone else just has to pick it up, Kurt. This is a team that's been through the wars. Everyone else just has to do a little bit extra now.
16 fouls now against Breese Central here in the second half. Both teams will be shooting 1 and 1 on the next foul. Here's Clare. He flipped it down. Nicely done. Hoop and foul by Michael Stipe. And now that athleticism of the Leo Lions is really starting to show.
Power drop step by Stipe. Outstanding play.
3rd foul now, Donnie Peterson. 3-point opportunity now for Stipe, who shoots free throws at 51%. And Noah Cannon's up on his feet again, pacing in front of that Leo Lions bench. He likes now the fire that his team has here in the in the second half. Whatever he said at halftime is really sunk in. Off the missed free throw, guess who goes and gets it? Stipe, the young man who shot it.
And Coach Cannon called him the dirty work player yesterday, and he's done all of that.
Yeah, that blue-collar player, and he's showing that off now. And another foul against Breese Central. This one's going to be on Beanie.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not so certain right now that the tempo of this game is in favor of Breese Central. They're just not playing the type of ball they want to play. Offensively is where they've really bogged down. Ball not going in the basket very often for them, just 40%.
Well, certainly, I would agree with you there, Roger. You've got a team in Chicago Leo that averages better than 66 points a game. And we've got another foul. This time it's in the backcourt. And it's going to be against Leo. But you've got a team that averages better than 66 points a game that's held to 43 now here with 6.5 minutes to go. So Stan Eagleson has got to be happy with what that has kind of transpired, but his team just hasn't been able to shoot the basketball tonight.
Well, they haven't been able to generate much offense, but Beanie now had a tough, gritty rebound right there. Meyer just hit a 3 the last time down. Things could change.
Now Beanie's going to go to the free throw line. He shoots it at 83%, so a terrific foul shooter. But his first trip to the free throw line for the game. Cole Schraggy's going to come back in.
Let's see if Breese Central might try to extend their pressure a little bit here, and if the ball goes through the basket here. See if Breese tries to pick up Leo a little bit.
Beanie's second free throw is good now. He has 14 points to lead all scorers.
A little soft pressure.
We approach the 6-minute mark left in this one. 43-33, a 10-point lead. It's hardly over.
Breese Central much more active in the passing lanes than they have in the first 3 quarters.
Would you expect Leo to kind of extend its offense here?
I would think so. Too early to pull it out.
Claire. His pass that time was intended for Stephen Benjamin, off of Benjamin and out of bounds, and so a costly turnover, the 10th of the game for the Lions.
And a big possession for Breese Central. The Breese fans kind of getting into it again. As we said earlier, Meyer and Beanie have done some things offensively. Big possession here.
Cougars trying everything they can do to just muster a little momentum, muster a little energy. They really haven't had it since very early in this basketball game. They've been trying to dig themselves out of a hole since the third quarter started. And they're a 10-point hole right now. Here's Beanie off the glass and in. 16 points now for Beanie, so he's at his average.
Now you're counting on your defense, and Leo has to come down and just keep running their offense. Defense has to step up now, Kurt.
Now Leo's going to try and answer here. The Lions don't appear to be extending their offense as we thought they might.
Defense is the blue collar with the lunch pail. Offense is, the tuxedo with tails. It's the hard work that's going to get you the win.
Now maybe they are going to try and milk a little bit of this clock and try to wear down the Cougars, who already have Adam Brickler fouling out.
Well, this hurt St. Anne in the second quarterfinal game today. They pulled it out off early and lost momentum.
Now, we talked about this in the first state quarterfinal today, as the foul is going to be on the perimeter, and it's going to be against Ken Detmer. There's that thin line between bringing the ball out and killing time and also being aggressive on the offensive end and hitting some of those backdoor plays. You talk about the Princeton style of offense. Some teams do it very well, some teams struggle with it.
And as you hold the ball longer, fewer players won't really want to handle it as far as shooting it. You want to get into some type of a rhythm.
Well, you can cut it off that time, yeah. Frank Clare the miss.
Cut it to 6, maybe 5.
Now slowly but surely, Breese Central trying to nudge its way back in. Here's Detmer on the low block, and that's good. And Ken Detmer scores off the glass, and here comes Breese Central. Just when you thought they were left for roadkill on the side of the road, here they come back.
This is what we've been hoping to see.
And a turnover against Leo. Timeout on the floor. The momentum is switching positions here. Breese Central is taking a little bit of the mo away. 4:15 to go, fourth quarter. Leo 43, Breese Central 57. Don't go anywhere, folks. Back with more from Carver Arena after this network break. Slowly but surely, Breese Central has climbed back into this basketball game, held to just one field goal in the third quarter, down 14 points at the end of 3. Breese Central with the basketball now can crawl to within 3 with a 3-point hoop here, or 4 with a 2.
They took their standing 8 count, and they're back right in the middle of the ring, boxing it out.
And they're doing it without Adam Brickler, who fouled out. Here's Meyer. Now it's Beanie. Hangs, fires, drew the contact, couldn't get it. Tipped out to Robinson now. Foot race. Robinson all the way down. And he drew contact. Bodies on the floor. It's going to be a 2-shot foul.
The Breese Central players had the right idea. They just couldn't get there in time.
Kyle Norenburns hustled back on defense, and I believe he's going to be the one whistled for the foul. Indeed, that is the case.
I'll tell you, Kurt, at that last timeout, there was only one person speaking at that Chicago Leo huddle, and it was Coach Noah Cannon.
He had everything going in his way in that third quarter, and then the Cougars came back to life. Robinson started the year as a starter on this team, but then was taken out of the lineup and put into a reserve role with 12 games to go in the season. And since that time, Leo is 11-1.
Breese Central needs to be ready now if Leo puts some type of pressure on him.
Free throw's good that time by Robinson. And Tracy Robinson has come off the bench once more for Leo and contributed 5 points. And another foul, and it's brought the ire of Noah Cannon. He's going to make some more substitutions.
Well, there is plenty of time. 7-point lead for Leo. We have 3:38 to go.
Well, Frank Clare just picked up his 4th foul now with 3:38 to go. And now the decision is, do you keep him in the game or do you pull him out? And they're going to keep him in the game. Now they're going to make some other substitutions. Nope, they are going to send in Michael Stipe for him. So Stipe comes in and Clare leaves the game. Cougars also making a substitution. Detmer is out. Brandon Holtman is in. And to the foul line is Norenburns. This young man broke his leg not once but twice this summer. And it's certainly hampered his ability to be a factor this season for the Cougars. Off the missed free throw, a foul now for Breese Central. That's on Holtman, who just checked in the game. His 2nd foul. And now Leo in the double bonus is going to come down and get a pair of free throws.
That takes the pressure off, as you said, Kurt, to being in the double bonus. They're going to get 2 no matter what.
It'll be Keelan Donald, 59% free throw shooter. The All-Catholic League quarterback. And All-Catholic League point guard to the foul line. Rattles out. Team's not shooting the free throw very well in these last couple of trips to the foul line.
Leo just 50% for the game.
8 out of 16. They shoot it 64% in the season. Second one. That one is in and out as well. Beanie the rebound. Henderson is fouled in the backcourt. It's a backcourt foul on Alan Downing, much to the chagrin of Noah Cannon.
And a 77% free throw shooter could bring it to within 5.
Well, he's the guy that certainly the Cougars want on the foul line. And Schragi's coming back in the game as well.
He's done a nice job of running the offense here, taking some load off Schragi. He's done a nice job bringing the ball up the floor.
Well, we're in that point of the game where Stan Eagleson is now making offensive for defensive substitutions with each trip to the foul line. Running his better players in that are offensive players when his team's got the ball, and defensive when he's got to defend here, vice versa. The chess match is going on here in the final 3.5.
You don't win 313 games by mistake, that's for sure. He's got complete control of this club.
Second free throw is rimmed out, and Tracy Robinson clears for Leo. Breese Central showed token pressure off the missed shot. We approach the 3-minute mark left in this one. It's a 44-38 Leo lead. Downing in traffic and foul. Well, he was very close to turning the basketball over, too.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be on Brandon Holtman, who quickly has picked up 3 fouls.
Breese needs to get a couple guys in there on the defensive free throw blocks.
You know, the Cougars started the game, we mentioned at halftime, that they were shooting the three-point shot very well, and that's really not been the case here in the second quarter or the second half. Would you suggest that the Cougars would start shooting the three?
Well, I think they're going to look inside to go outside, Kurt, like we said. I think that's what they're going to have to do. Beanie's going to get his points all over the floor, but I think you might see balls going into Detmer and then trying to kick the ball out to Meyer.
And the reason why I suggest that is certainly with Brickler fouling out and with all the attention putting on Adam Beanie, that you get those guys just camped out on the perimeter, they can knock down triples. You can start erasing that deficit in no time.
That's a good point.
Of course, you got to make the shots. 46-38, the Leo lead now is 8. There's Beanie, nearly fouled in the backcourt that time by Stipe. The Lions have the Gazelles running up and down the floor now, trying to put that ball pressure on them. They looked inside to Detmer, and there's a foul, it looks like, on Tracy Robinson. It will be on Leo's Robinson.
We had a real fight there with Detmer down there, and Detmer was able to hold position. Robinson was not able to get around.
Now 2 free throws now for Detmer as Leo is over the limit on a double bonus. Detmer didn't shoot a whole lot of free throws during the regular season, just 22. He's one of the juniors, and Stan Eagleson says is part of that deep junior class that he has. Brandon Holtman, with his 3 fouls, comes back in, and he sends Nurembergs back to the bench. 6 points for Detmer off the bench tonight.
Stan right now just has 1 senior in the lineup.
Make it 7 as the free throw goes down. And immediately he comes back out of the game, and Cole Schrage goes back in. We'll see what kind of full court pressure we may see here from Breese Central. Now the Lions do a wonderful job of breaking it, and now they decide to pull it back out. Under 3 minutes to go here, 4th quarter. Near steal that time. Donald quickly got rid of it. He didn't want to get caught in the corner. Now Robinson is in the corner, and he's fouled. That's where you have an opportunity to use the baseline and the sideline really as an extra defender.
That's your 6th man where you could trap. You're right there, and going to the line now will once again be number 15, Tracy Robinson.
It seems like every time we look up, he's at the foul line.
63% on the year. Guard skills, but standing 6'7".
Yeah. Well, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, came to Leo as a 5'11" point guard his freshman season. And he's grown and grown and grown and grown some more. He's 6'7" now.
He shot that shot like he's in his backyard. Nice rhythm, perfect follow through.
And has accepted that role of now coming off the bench and being really a spark off the bench. And again, he knocks down the free throws. He's 4 out of 6 from the line tonight. 7 points now for Robinson. And the lead is back to 8 at 48-40. 2.5 and counting left here, 4th quarter. Now a 3 from the outside. We thought we might see it. It was Pedersen who missed a shot. Long rebound comes out now to Leo. Robinson. Some contact there, no foul. There's the reach-in foul. That's going to be whistled against Ryan Meyer. And guess who's going back to the free throw line?
Well, he's been shooting in rhythm right now, and probably for Coach Noah Cannon, he couldn't pick anyone he'd rather have up there than Robinson.
Well, and you get to a point in the game, and certainly, as you well know, in your coaching circles, you got a guy at the free throw line. If he's going to make 2 or 3 in a row, you may as well keep the ball in his hands. He's going to be in a rhythm when he goes to the foul line.
Exactly right. It's like a guy putting. You make a few putts, you think you're going to make one, and I think that's what Robinson does right now. He's shooting real nice in rhythm.
And regardless of what your season's statistics say, you get there and you start making them, you want to go back to the foul line.
There you go.
Keep the ball in the red hot hands of your hot shooter.
4 in a row.
And a 10-point Leo lead now. Pedersen lost the ball on the floor. How'd he get it back? Nope. Traveling violation. He lost his footing and was whistled for the violation.
Now, I think Breese has to extend their defense now, Kurt. They have to come at him full.
Now, there doesn't appear to be much of the defensive pressure in the backcourt. The Lions again spreading the floor, and a foul that time. Keelan Donald was in all kinds of trouble, and a reach-in foul, probably in a very untimely manner that time, Peterson, because he was out there, and again, that's when you're using the timeline as another defender there.
That's right. Donald is 0 for 2 from the line today, but as you said along the telecast today, the quarterback of the football team, the leader, usually steps up at the end.
Well, that young man had 12 rebounds against Hales Franciscan in that triple overtime win. So he even likes to get a little dirty when it comes down to the defensive backboards as well. He's not afraid to do anything on the floor. And as Noah Cannon has said on numerous occasions, the clear leader of this team. It's now an 11-point lead after he splits the free throws. Now we'll see if the Cougars are thinking about shooting the three. Stepping in the passing lane and getting a steal is Frank Clare, and he's immediately fouled in the backcourt by Ryan Meyer.
And the 8th turnover in the second half for the Breese Central Cougars.
Well, just when that pendulum of momentum we were talking about had swung back into the Breese Central camp, in step Leo. They've made all the plays here. They've made the foul shots. They've done everything necessary to kind of stem that flow.
And here's your Division I recruit now stepping up, probably to put the game on ice.
We're always good for jinxing a guy when he goes to the free throw line, so we can put the game away. Huh?
Did that all right.
Tom Barrow is going to come back in the basketball game for Breese Central. The Cougars making their second consecutive trip here to Peoria to the Elite Eight, and it's the school's only 2 appearances. Stan Eagleson in his 18th season at Breese Central. And as we mentioned, a nice deep junior class, so remember that for next year, that Breese Central might be making a 3rd straight trip. Peterson takes it all the way down and laid it in. Now Leo trying to not only break the pressure, but solve the clock. And a timeout called by Noah Cannon that time as he had a player in Keelan Donald lost the dribble in the backcourt. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Apt Electronics and Appliances. For the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price, visit Apt in Glenview. And by Macy Ferguson. What to depend on? Tracy Robinson is going back to the free throw line as he was fouled in the backcourt. We're going to be seeing free throws for these final 90 seconds.
We talked about a senior moment for Leo. The seniors from Leo have scored 51 of the 53 points.
Well, when you've got 8 seniors on this roster and 8 very dedicated players that want to see the Leo Lions bring back a state trophy, that's what's going to happen. They've put together a very determined effort. Not a very pretty one, not one that you want to put in a time capsule and pull it out in 25 years and take a look at it, but nonetheless, it's been effective.
As they say in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, advance, move on.
That's right. Survive and advance. And another backcourt foul, and back down on the other end for the Leo Lions to shoot free throws. It's been a rough night for Stan Eagleson's team. Don't forget, coming up, we've got the 4th and final state quarterfinal here at Carver Arena. It'll be Pana and Quincy Notre Dame.
That guy right there on the screen, Stan Eagleson's just one of the nice guys in this profession.
I will second that.
Outstanding. Outstanding coach.
We've had a chance to kind of get to know him the last couple of years as he's brought his Cougars up. And as we said, a deep junior class, and perhaps we'll be making another appearance. But as you know, the basketball in that part of the state is very good, and it's very difficult to get out of those sectionals down southern part of the state. Here's Doran Burns from 3. He can't get it. High up to get the defensive board is Donald for Leo, and he is fouled. Nope, jump ball. They'll call it a held ball, and Leo will have the possession arrow.
Well, it looks right now that Leo will advance, and I'm sure that Coach Cannon is going to be putting these guys through the paces tomorrow sometime. He needs a little bit better performance out of them, I think, to make a splash down here. This is a good basketball team. They didn't play their best this evening, however.
And now we're starting to see some of the reserve players get in the game for the Cougars. In fact, Greg Astroff, who is the great nephew of the former IHSA Executive Director L.L. Astroff, is now in the game for the first time. And to the free throw line is Keelan Donald.
How many times I remember L.L. Astroff and Harry Fitzhugh and all those people passing out trophies, legendary names in the IHSA.
Donald salting the game away for the Leo Lions, who are representing, as we mentioned, the Chicago Catholic League and the city of Chicago down here in this Class A boys basketball state tournament. A minute and counting left in this one now. Meyer had a shot blocked by Tracy Robinson. Now he goes and gets. They have a 4-on-2 and he's fouled. So the 6'1", 185-pound senior guard is going back to the free throw line, where it seems like he's been a fixture here in the fourth quarter.
8 for 10 in the ball game.
Well, what can you say about the Leo performance? You know, we thought we might see more of a track meet out of them, more of the up and down, but they've done what was necessary to get the job done here in this third state quarterfinal.
And you know, Kurt, you look up at the board, and if he makes his free throw, they're up 17, and you beat anybody by double digits in the Elite Eight, you've done something right. But we have talked about that. I think there are some things that he needs to patch up. I'm talking about Coach Cannon, and I'm sure he will. There goes Keeney. What a career he had.
Well, a nice round of applause as both teams are substituting freely now and get some of those reserve players who've banged it out and sweated it out all year long have an opportunity to play on the state finals floor in the final minute of the game, and that's nice to see.
I think Beanie is a pretty good baseball player. That might be where his future lies.
And the Cougars, boy, that shot, over the head shot by Kurt Hyman almost went down. He's going to get some free throws out of it.
That's a very disappointed bench right there, but again, they have nothing to be disappointed about. A tremendous season to get to the Elite Eight 2 years in a row.
Now there's 300 schools in the state that would like to trade places with you. You know, especially when you make it back-to-back years, and you have a guy, as you mentioned, Adam Beanie as a senior, who was a part of that team that came up as a starter as a junior last year and starting again this year. And so he'll have some great stories to tell his kids and his grandchildren someday about his days as a basketball player at Breese Central and taking a pair of teams in consecutive seasons to the Class A Elite Eight.
You know what I just saw? I saw Noah Cannon smile. It's the first time I've seen him smile tonight.
That's been very, very businesslike on that Leo bench. Hyman makes the free throw. And Brandon Dawson is checking in now for Breese Central. He's a 6'3" junior.
As we talked about at the start of the game, because he's a Leo graduate, this is a very important job to him. You know, he believes in this school, and it's great to see you can come home and have success.
Well, he bleeds that Leo blood for sure, as a student and now as a member of the faculty and as a basketball coach. And he's going to be moving on and helping Leo bring back a state trophy.
If I had a son, I'd love him to play for Noah Cannon. He's a disciplined guy. He's a team guy, and you know, these are the things you need to teach the youth today. That it's not me, it's us.
And certainly we talked about how battle-tested that team is, playing all that AA competition up in the city of Chicago and coming down here to the Elite Eight, and they have advanced here. Final seconds, 15 seconds and counting left here in this third quarterfinal game. So Chicago Leo, pencil them in on your brackets. They'll play either Pana or Quincy Notre Dame in the state semifinals tomorrow. And we've got one more quarterfinal to go. 4.9 seconds left in this one. And a tip of the cap again to Breese Central, head coach Stan Eagleson. His team will finish 26-7 and nothing to hang your head about. A second consecutive trip to state for Breese Central. But it's Chicago Leo that's moving on to the state semifinals after a 59-43 win over Breese Central. 16-point win, much of it stretched out with free throws in the fourth quarter. But they withstood a big-time punch by Breese Central. They were coming back there early in the fourth quarter, but they withstood the tide, and they're heading on.
That might be the thing that Coach Cannon wants to hang his hat on, the point you just made, because Breese did make a run at him, and these players from Leo withstood it, as you said, and made the shots when they had to from the free throw line, and they will be playing tomorrow at 12:45.
And Leo is now 26-5 on the season, and a perfect 11-0 against Class A teams on the schedule this year. As we mentioned, they play a schedule dominated by AA teams, but their Class A mark is still perfect, and they have guaranteed themselves of bringing home a state trophy, and that'll happen sometime tomorrow. They're moving on to play in day two, the Saturday day action at Carver Arena. And Lee Hall is standing by with a couple of the victorious Leo Lions. Lee, take it away.
All right, we've got Noah Cannon with us here. Coach, you weren't real happy with the defense there at halftime, but you only give up 20 points in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we got to play defense. We able to score mostly every inning in the game, but to say the key thing is defense, and we got to continue to play hard-nosed defense and not let teams up.
You're a Leo grad. You bring him back to state. Now you're going to take home a trophy.
Oh, definitely. I hope so. Take it one game at a time. That's the key.
No, you're guaranteed a trophy now, Coach.
No, I'll take it one game at a time. One game at a time. But like I said, it's a blessing to be able to go back to my alma mater, and lead these young men like Alan Downey. He's a senior, and it's so good to see kids like that growing up in general. So like I said, I'm very blessed.
All right, Alan Downing is our country insurance player of the game. What did Coach say to you at halftime? You guys seem to have a little more purpose there second half.
Yeah, basically he just told us we know what we could do, so we had to come out and do it. And that got us through the game.
Yeah. They said, some of the guys said before the game, maybe if it was a game in the 50s, that it might favor Breese Central, yet you guys win at 59-43. You guys really turned the defense up here tonight.
Yeah, that's our specialty, defense, and we're very determined, and that's one step closer to achieving our goal.
All right, you go to the medal round. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, Chicago Leo joins Peoria Christian and Winnebago in tomorrow's Final Four. Kurt, we've got one more to go tonight.
Well, thank you, Lee. Leo 59, Breese Central 43. We'll come back with more from Carver Arena after these local messages.
How do we do?
Final score once again, Chicago Leo 59, Breese Central 43. Leo is in the medal round. They'll be playing for a trophy sometime tomorrow. They're in the semifinals against the winner of the next game between Pana and Quincy Notre Dame. Kurt Pegler, Roger Lowe back with you. A balanced scoring attack, 14 points for Alan Downing, 14 points for Keelan Donald. It was a very business-like performance for Leo.
Very well put. Business-like is a good way to say it. And once again, Leo has always balanced their scoring with 7 different players leading the team at different times during the year. It's hard to guard a team when they have so many weapons that can hurt you, and that's what happened to Breese Central today.
Let's take a look at the Apt Electronics play of the game in this third state quarterfinal from Carver Arena. Leo was spacing the floor very well. They had scoring on the inside, they had scoring on the outside, and Alan Downing, 2 of his 14, are Apt Electronics play of the game. They were very difficult to defend. They were up and down the floor, and they have moved into the state semifinals, and they'll play either Pana or Quincy Notre Dame. What's your final thought on the game?
Well, I think, again, that Leo's pace surprised me a little bit. I didn't realize that they'd be such a methodical team offensively, but the kids were well balanced on the floor, hard to cover. I think they're going to be a tough matchup wherever they play tomorrow.
That does it for the third state quarterfinal. Now let's go over to Lee Hall, who's standing by.